Hello, my name is Jaden and this is my remix project. This video will highlight the creation of my digital art piece, which was inspired by the religious piece fully called The Neophyte, First Experience of the Monastery. I begin by finding a style that is more modernized to help reach a younger audience, and using a brush that is very round and cartoony, I redrew the Neophyte art piece in my own depiction. I decided to do a more modernized art piece because I felt as if the older men in the original picture represented negativity or regret in some way, easy to depict in cartoon. So I started off with drawing the middle man, the anchor of the drawing, the neophyte himself, and this is where the light source will be for further into the drawing. Next I started with the other characters. In the original drawing, the people are used more as filler or background, with only one or two people having notable characteristics. But in this adaptation piece, I decided to have all the characters be more involved. I additionally wanted to highlight my idea of spreading the "I'm in the wrong group" type message across for the audience. I was getting used to the style by this point in the drawing. By drawing hoodies to represent robes helped a lot with pace. Alongside that, the repetitive sad facial expression made the lone kid in the middle stand out more, which was my plan entirely. Drawing all the boys were more difficult than I expected, taking me hours to figure out how to fit them all together, and also finding a style and face for each one. So I'm going to speed up the process of me figuring out each pose, substance, and personality the men in my drawing are gonna have. In the middle here, I was stuck on the last of the character's design. I wanted to represent drug use, but decided to be more subtle, with cigarettes, bad vibes, and phones instead of alcohol and other substances. Now that the line art is finished for this piece, I start the coloring process. This process took years off my lifespan. What I planned to be a 4-hour drawing turned to a whopping 8-hour process. I start by trying to figure out a coloring method. First I do shading, then switch to highlighting, then coloring, but ultimately I decide to grayscale the whole picture. I will speed this process up to that point. Here at grayscale, I start using different values of gray at random, shading with a sharper, semi-realistic style for dramatic effect. I take hours, shading and coloring in gray values. I feel pretty happy with this piece at this point in the drawing, and almost decided to leave it as a grayscale painting alongside that. I felt pretty happy with my reimagining of the monks in this drawing, even though they don't look the same at all, they have the same aura. And the next hour and a half is me shading and perfecting the grayscale shading technique. Here we see a bright yellow background. I did this because yellow popped out the most to me, just felt right. And to add on to the background, I used a gradient on the grayscale. This makes it more blue, pink and purple, which contrast against the background. I then illuminate the lone neophyte, or in this case, the young kid. To give off the sense of purity, I wanted to make it seem like he was glowing, so I lightened the color around him. Alongside the cell phones, this makes the image brighter overall. Here are the final results.